Alright guys, so this is actually something that I kind of missed a couple of days ago because I was making all those discussion videos and I wanted to make a video on like Caster and everything, but we basically have Farming Update Part 9, and for everybody that doesn't like that I call it the Farming Update, look buddy, they're giving you specific CEs that help you with farming. It's the Farming Update, right? You gotta get with the program, that's all I'm saying. But before we actually get into this and kind of dive into the new quests that we've gotten and the new CEs that we've acquired, if you have not already, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for daily FGO content. Also, every weekday I do stream over on my Twitch starting at about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, although starting on, I believe, Wednesday to next Tuesday, I'm not going to be streaming because I'm going to be out of state, and the laptop that I'm bringing to do content while I'm, away, really can't handle streaming very well, as we found out last time I was out of state, so I'll just probably not end up streaming, but I will be back that following Wednesday, right? But with all that being said, the 3 new quests that we have here, I think the best way to actually describe these is that they're not necessarily all that hard, but you just need to balance, right? Or you need to, like, I don't know, kind of understand your targeting priorities and whatnot. For instance, look at this one right here. This one has Medea, and basically the Medea is not super strong, but she essentially can't be killed as long as these Dragon Tooth Warriors are here. And these Dragon Tooth Warriors are pretty weak. You may be saying, well, what's the problem with that? Well, they each have different amounts of guts, and after you take out all the Dragon Tooth Warriors, you've cleared all their guts, and you've killed all of them, you actually are able to do some damage to Medea. So you need to balance it to where you take them all out so there's none of them remaining, so you can actually pretty much one-shot Medea. I mean, 183k HP really isn't all that much. Granted, the fact that you can't bring any support type servants, you can't bring like a friend Koyenskaya, you can't bring a friend Castoria, a friend Merlin, stuff along those lines, maybe means that you might be lacking in some damage, but realistically, you just need to balance what Dragon Tooth Warriors have what. So like, for instance, if there's a lot of Sabers, you need to start knocking them down because they will spawn with 3 guts as opposed to the archers that only have 1. So you just kind of need to maintain who you're attacking, but realistically, once you have that window of an opportunity to attack Medea, you should be able to take her out in like 1 to 2 NPs tops, right? Unless you're using like, I don't know, some random AoE guy. Like if you have to use, I don't know, Drake to take her out or something, I don't know, then it might take you a bit more than that. But even then, you could do crits and stuff on those turns as well. Now, there is like little gimmicks because, as you guys know, Jason was Medea's lover, I suppose, and Artoria is, I guess you could say the same thing from Fate Stay Night, but they're both kind of like the gimmick servants that you're able to use. Don't use Jason. Jason refills their NP gauge every turn. Don't bring Jason. He's not good for this. He's really funny, but you're gonna get blasted by a lot of NPs. The Artoria one's actually not too bad. The star generation up actually does mean that, like, in some Brave chains, your Artoria might be able to front some stars and whatnot, which is kind of funny, but she's also losing defense, right? I thought it would have actually been really funny if they actually, like, you use Artoria for this stage, and then for that stage exclusively, she gets to wear, like, the Fate Stay Night white dress. I thought that would have been really cool, but nah, nothing like that. But you see what I mean? Like, this one is a balancing act, right? Similarly to, like, these other ones over here. This one I actually think is a bit easier if you have Semiramis, because she is, like, the main gal you want to be using, because she can actually like hit everybody here, and even though she's an assassin, she has a skill that actually reverses like her class disadvantage, so these casters really aren't a big deal. The whole thing is that you're trying to get poisoned. Like, once your guys get poisoned, they can basically fight this as per usual, like a normal node, but you just got to wait for them to actually attack you, right? Because otherwise, if you attack people and you don't have poison, they just do all this other nonsense, right? Like, they do all this other stuff, and they're going to basically stop you from being able to actually, like, beat the mission effectively if you're not poisoned. Something else to note is that maybe Muramasa would be really good for this because they all have the king trait, and Muramasa's, like, anti-king, and, he's also got an AoE NP. He can loot pretty well, so he could probably mop up a lot of these guys, and there's no archers, as you can see, so he might be able to kind of mop this up, but if you've got Semiramis, you can definitely clean this out. AoE NP, not stopped by these guys. You just might struggle with subsequent NPs, since you can't bring like a friend servant or something along those lines. But really, this one is just managing who's got poison, right? Because they only have the thing for 1 turn. So it's just managing how much poison you got. Then again, Semiramis and Hassan are really easy because they just have this permanent poison debuff, so they can pretty much attack whoever. The only difference is that Serenity's going to have a lot of a harder time getting over these casters than someone like Semiramis. And then you have this one. Basically, you just need to kind of be smart about who you attack. You want to take out the alter egos. Everyone that's not the alter egos are basically here to help you, right? You have like the archers and the casters that are basically designed to like prevent your guys from being taken out. Like they can like prevent them from being insta-killed, and the casters over here can like show you which ones are the actual like enemies you need to be taking out, right? Because you want to be hitting these bad wolves, right? And so really what it comes down to is that like you don't want to kill the people that are supposed to help you, right? Because they're supposed to like save you from dying and point out who the real targets are. So what I believe this is more just testing for players is like making sure you actually hit the appropriate people. So for instance, let's say you're like you have exactly these 3 guys right here, right? It's like, okay, attack the 3rd guy. So once you like kill him with say a buster card and then the follow-up cards hit this guy, it shows you that like it'll auto retarget over there, right? It's just don't primarily target this guy, because then your first cards will hit him and then the next cards will hit the archer guy, and you don't want the archer to die, and they're all very, very low HP as well, right? So it's really easy to mess up and do something like that. But I just believe that all of these aren't really all that hard. They're just more management based, right? Which is kind of nice, because some of these like advanced quests have been really annoying in the past. Some of them are like really easy if you have specific characters, which I did like some of those. I kind of hope they start going back to some of those, because those are like really, really fun to like, you know, give you an excuse to break out a new character. Like with the Ibaraki Doji one, you got to bring the K-pop Saber Servant, right? And that's really fun because I never get to break him out, and I think he's actually a pretty decent servant. So getting the excuse to crack him out and use him on some of these nodes was a lot of fun. But you know, these ones are all just really management based, and they are worth doing. If you're playing JP, you definitely should go ahead and get these. As we continue to get more of these, you'll slowly be able to start limit breaking these, and they're really, really good. 5% might not sound like a lot, but when you limit break these and then they're 25%, and as we slowly get to the point where you can like max limit break 4 of these things, that's going to be a 100% buff to the drop rate of whatever you're trying to farm. So it's like, just slowly getting these now as they come out is a really, really good idea, especially because JP is not like dead right now, but it's definitely slowing down. The event is ending, and now we're going to be getting the 5.2 stuff. We're going to get some buffs and some interludes for, you know, a lot of the 5.2 related servants, and then we also have this, right? So just not a whole like dearth of content, but you know, NA's not exactly got their event up yet, and well, depending on when this video comes out, it may or may not be up, but JP's also not got a whole lot going on right now as well. So just make sure you get this done. It's very worth. I know it helps like specific people who are like going to events, because if you don't know, event free quests usually have really good drop rates already for a lot of the mats and whatnot. So it's for people that are like, oh, I specifically want to farm this node has it. I can also slap this on the back if I don't have like an additional event CE, or if you just need to farm regular free quests because maybe you're out of pure prisms and you just need like that extra 13 feathers or something, right? Something along those lines. I think they're just really good to go ahead and grab and just make sure you're always on top of these things, right? Because I'm telling you, when the day comes that we have 4 of these max limit broken, it's going to be a crazy day, right? Especially when we start getting to like the gold ones and everything, when you can have like 100% heart buff drop rate. That's the stuff that I'm looking forward to, because a lot of those gold currencies can be very, very annoying to farm if you've ever tried to farm them from free quests. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if you were able to just cheese these. Also in the comments, if you want to kind of drop some team comps that you use to beat some of these things. I know some people struggle with these because of the fact that you're not able to use friends, right? Like you have to use exclusively only your box, and I know a lot of people struggle with that stuff. So you know, if you're struggling, you can look in the comments, you can come to the Discord, which is also in the description, and we will definitely help you out with finding a team comp with your box and being able to beat a lot of this, right? But sometimes it also just comes down to like, you know, learning the matchup, right? Like a lot of these, I don't believe, like especially this one, I don't think you really need a specific servant, right? I think you could pretty much do this with any box, right? I think most of these you could do with any box. It's just some boxes, you know, you're like, oh, I have Semiramis, she's gonna clap this one up, right? But there's also streams. I believe this is going to be going up on Tuesday. I'll probably like try to beat some of these tonight when I stream and whatnot. So you can also catch that tonight at 6 p.m. EST. But with all of that being said, I am going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video. Peace.